Yo, this is Kenneth Kirk, and you're now tuned in to Good People's TV.
What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. This is episode 2 of Good Conversation. I'm your host, Dan Norris. Thank you for viewing us today. It's a beautiful day in Virginia. The summer is finally here. I'm just so happy. This interview has been on my wait list for a minute. This guy right here is a true friend of mine for many years. I love this guy with all my heart. He's so creative, so versatile. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kenneth Kirk.
Yo, man, thank you so much for having me.
Welcome. How has everything been with you so far, bro?
I've been good, man. Just been working a lot, man.
Yeah.
Working on the podcast, working on my own personal projects, working with brands on projects. So it's been hectic, but like I wouldn't want it any other way.
Definitely.
This is something I've been working up towards.
Definitely.
So yeah,
Definitely, man. Vanity Oprah.
Yes.
You've been with it for a couple years now, man. You've been not only strong with it, but consistent with it. Bringing that idea to life, how was that process, coming about? Like, how was that, man?
Yeah, man. So I dated back to COVID. Really COVID, man. That was a lot of just like time where I was able to kind of sit and reflect. Kind of wanted to figure out what's next for me. And so, with me and like both of us, we have like so many interests that we have that we'll be back in music. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, how can I show that interest, but make it very presentable?
Definitely.
And so one of the first things I got into during COVID was podcasts.
Yeah.
And so I'm listening to podcasts, listening to conversations, and I'm just like, yo, like this is really dope. Like, especially when it comes to situations where you're talking to a friend like how we are today.
Yeah.
It's like able to just share experiences, share like laughter, share conversations. So I just thought to myself, like, man, like I wanna do that.
Definitely.
Definitely. And then with my love of music, and my just like how I'm able to diversify when it comes to the music I listen to, that's when the playlist started. I found myself a lot of time during quarantine, watching a lot of Boiler Room sets, watching a lot of DJ sets, like for example Verdict, like his DJ sets, and I just think to myself, like, wow, I want to do that, but how can I get started with it, but not yet just like doing it just yet? Because like obviously it takes a lot of equipment, it takes a lot of time, right? So like how can I show people my interest in music and my taste? As a hint. And so that's how we were started. And then everything else was everything.
So do you feel like, starting Vanity Oprah and starting your podcast, do you feel like networking is like second nature to you now?
Yes, most definitely. I think that with me doing the podcast, like I'm able to meet so many talented people, and being able to talk about their experiences, talk about their upbringing, like it brings the authenticity to it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I want to bring to the podcast. It's like just have it be a regular conversation. I don't want it to feel like we're one-on-one, like Brian Gumble or CNN. I just want it to be something where and no disrespect to Brian Gumble, like, great interviewer, great person. Like I just want it to be something where it's a casual conversation like this. And I think that when you have conversations like that, you get the most out of the conversation, whether it be the good, the bad, the laughter. So yeah, that's how I kind of like.
And bro, like tapping into that, conversation builds character.
Yeah.
Conversation builds relationships. Conversation goes so far because you can obtain so much information and so much knowledge about an idea, about a person, about where you're trying to go in life, just by conversing, bro. So that's really why I really started the show, man. Just enjoying good conversation. Like, people do not understand how essential conversation is and how strong it can be for people like us. So like, we're literally out here trying our best to make it every single day and trying to find what is the next thing that's going to make us, stand out from the rest of the book. And like just conversing with you today, man, it just touches me, man, because like I love this stuff. I love being able to sit here and talk to you about fashion or music or everything that we're gonna talk about today. Like I just love it. Even if that didn't make sense, it made sense in my head.
No, it definitely did. Like I think that with just the amazing guests we've been able to have on so far, just like getting to know how they got into the realm that they are in terms of the ventures they go into. Because like when it comes to the interviews, like we like to start up at the beginning, right? Because when it comes to both myself and you, like growing up, we had so many interests, video games, sports, whatever, right? But all those interests we had as a kid stem to what we do now.
Exactly.
Like you wouldn't be able to necessarily know this particular artist or know how to shoot a particular thing based off what you already know.
Exactly.
So what you already see.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like I remember we had a great guest on named Kirk. And he designs like clothing pieces in VR, like primarily like footwear in like VR. He designs it and then he everything is 3D. And so I remember we asked him a question about like what were your early interests growing up, and he talked about playing video games. And he talked about like the music in video games and how he stems that when it comes to doing the visuals for his products.
Okay.
So like I think of that, I'm just like, damn, like it's so crazy how you can take something that's related to back way when and relate it to where you are.
Life is a puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's really all about how you want to piece your puzzle together.
Yeah.
You like God really gives us keys essentially every single day. And sometimes people are obnoxious and oblivious to it, man. They just don't see it, man. But to be able to absorb that and realize, like, man, like, let me take this and put this here and this on my life, man, that's beautiful. Like, would you say, who's your most favorite guest that you have?
Oh man.
So far.
That's a really hard question because every guest we've had on has been great.
Yeah.
Damn, that's so hard, man. That's so hard because every guest we've had on has truly been great. I think like each guest has brought something different to the table in terms of conversation, definitely, as well as experience, definitely. But yeah, it's super hard, man. I don't think I can say like one is like my favorite. I think it is crazy though the fact that where we are now, I think actually when we did our first interview ever, and like where we are now compared to in terms of quality, man, it's like so different.
That was like a Slover library, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And even not even that. Like our first initial recording was literally in the backyard of my parents' house.
Are you serious?
In our screen room.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Did not know that, bro.
The audio was terrible. You heard the birds chirping. Like you hear the wind blowing. It's just like it just sounded so bad.
Bro, the thing about that is that because I had that same pop issue with this. The first time is going to be the worst time. Yeah. But just taking that first time and taking that experience and taking that mistake and being like, okay, this is what I need to do better next time up. You need to have that fail that first time. Like, you need to see that, okay, I messed up bad. You need to have that point in your career, that starting point, man, because that really shows you the key. So, do you guys have any big projects coming up soon?
Man, I can't share too much, but we definitely have some interviews coming up that I'm really looking forward to. And I think it's just a build up to our consistent work right now. And I take so much pride in terms of our consistency. Just because, we had a lot of trial and error, as we do when you're starting something, right? We found ourselves trying to fight for like consistency of everything. Like, we need to release every other week. We try like a work schedule, and like it kind of was just being interrupted. And so we kind of found like a more balanced pattern where we can be like, okay, like we're gonna do a bi-weekly schedule. I handle promo, Eli, my co-host, shout out to Eli. He handles all the audio editing and everything. And so when it comes to the intro music, to the intro music for our ads and everything, like, he does all the editing for that, for the audio piece. I handle more so the visual aspect of everything in terms of the presentation, because I think that that's going to bring the listeners in terms of showing that visual aspect of like promotion of it. You can't just be like, oh, episode's out. Great. You know, you gotta have some visual behind it, some reasoning for them to draw in.
Definitely. Yeah, man, I definitely agree with that, man. Drawing your clientele in, that's your ticket, bro. Being able to do that and have that relationship with your clientele, you know, like, they'll always be there for you. So definitely, like, just having that foundation with them and building that foundation for them, and I know they appreciate that so much. So, you as a person, I know who you are. I remember when we first met at Barnes & Noble, at the Starbucks in Barnes & Noble, back in 2017, bro. I would like to travel on the journey of you becoming you, from the start to now. If you could, like, how did you become who you are?
Man, I think really, man, it's just me really paying attention, you know, and really trying to get into as much things as I can possibly create. I feel that, you know, when it comes to life, you shouldn't pin yourself down to one component. So I think that, you know, you're blessed enough to live a long life. You should try to explore as much as you can possibly, whether it be with creative endeavors, whether it be with hobbies. Like, you should be able to explore and dive into so much more. And I think that for me, when it comes to my whole growth, or just my overall process and journey, it's just me being able to tap into so many things. Whether it be modeling, whether it be styling, whether it be podcasts, music, like, I think as my journey has gone through, I just paid attention to a lot. Whether it be people I idolize, whether it be like Virgil Abloh, or whether it be artists like Tyler the Creator, or just I pay attention to a lot and I watch a lot, you know, and so I study a lot, and I think that's what really has propelled me to where I am today. Now granted, I'm not perfect, you know, I definitely have made mistakes in terms of creatively, but you know, you learn from your mistakes, you learn from your mistakes, that's how you grow, you know, because it's never easy. The journey's never easy. But as long as you stay consistent, stay true to yourself in terms of what you are, that's really how it moves.
And tapping in on that, the journey is never easy part. When I say this, I'm speaking to anybody who has a dream whatsoever. We get so discouraged so quickly when we have a dream and it does not go as planned. Say that we have a clothing brand and we have a drop and we buy 50 shirts and we only sell 5. Or say that we make a song and we drop it on SoundCloud and it only gets 50 views, 50 listens or whatnot. Or you drop a YouTube page and you get 10 subscribers in a month or whatnot. People look at that as failures. I look at that as successful. Because just to say that you did it, the first thing, that's the first thing. Just to say that you did it, bro. But you have to look at the success. You have to look at the failures. You have to look at the longevity of it. It's not about the journey. It's about the destination, bro. But honestly, did I say that backwards? It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's about the journey, bro. And if you are not dedicated to the journey, you're not going to see success. No, sir. And that's the one thing that people really have to realize, that failure is okay. Like, not getting it right the first time is okay. Like, not understanding what you're doing your first couple times is okay. But you just have to learn from those actions, learn from those mishaps, and to, like, stay consistent. If you stay consistent, and you just stay true to what your idea is, what your dream is, you have no problem whatsoever. I promise you, and you will see better days. I promise you.
And I piggyback off that comment as far as the consistency, but also just the aspect of creatives, right? So I think a lot of times with creatives, like, they think that, just the mishaps, can be overshadowed by what you're intending when you have your data. It's like, no, man, like, you just gotta keep going. Just think of it with like a brand owner, like, get the first years out the way, like the mistakes that you think. I'm sure people, whether it be Ralph Lauren, Virgil Abloh, any other designer, they had majority of their mistakes were at the beginning, when nobody was looking. And so when you get to a point where everyone's looking, you're already 10 steps ahead of everyone else. It's like, you got your mistakes out early, right? And so when everyone's looking, you can already be like, all right, here's this, here's that. So I think that being able to create, you just gotta keep going, man. All you gotta do is keep going.
I look at you as a fashion guru. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I will honestly say that you are probably one of the most fashionable creatives in the Southern Box Office. I look up to you for inspiration. Fits are crazy. As far as fashion, how do you feel it's moving forward within the future? And I say that because fashion has evolved so much over the years, and it's evolving now quicker by the day. Like usually, I've seen trends last. When I was younger, trends last like a couple years to going down to a year. Now it's going up like 6 months, 3 months now. Where do you see fashion evolving in the next like year or so?
I think honestly with fashion, it's like, it's tricky, right? It's like now currently we're in the age of social media, the age of technology. So it's like we have so much access with social media. So you see a lot of these trends either get recycled or get tossed out within a matter of months. Because once that good few people see it, it's widespread. Whereas before, fashion, the reason why the trends lasted longer years is it's like not a lot of people were exposed to certain trends. That's why you think with California, like with their style in terms of like Converse, it's like, what I mean? People in New York necessarily you weren't exposed to that unless you actually went to Cali. Whereas now, you go on social media, see a few dudes that live in Cali, and you're like, oh snap, like I love that style, what is that? And so that's where I think it's currently happening now. I do think fashion is in a good place. With me doing the podcast, I'm able to interview so many different brand owners with different tastes. And so I'm able to see so many different styles and different ways in how they particularly sell products and sell pieces. And it's so funny because I had an interview earlier today with a brand owner, and he talked about the main important thing when it comes to fashion, especially when you're selling clothes, is selling the story, it's selling the experience. Because I think a lot of times people get wrapped through the whole thing of, oh, I just gotta put out clothes, just put out clothes. That's great, you can do that, but why? What's that why behind it? Like you gotta have a story behind the clothing pieces. Exactly. So like, I think that's a major thing when it comes to now. Like for me now, when it comes to clothes, like when I was younger, I used to just buy things and it's like, oh, I seen it, oh, great, buy it, boom, 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 boom. Now it's like, okay, I want to get pieces that mean something, but also can be worn in years down the line.
Exactly.
Like for example, this
timeless pieces.
Timeless. Like this same outfit I have on today, I can probably wear it when I'm mid-30s.
That was my next question, actually, by the way. Thanks for answering my question. Not even having me asking this.
Yeah, no, I think really that's all it's about, man. Just being able to, but that happens with like trial and error as well as getting older, right? When we were younger, we listened to people like Kanye or Pharrell, we was thinking like, oh, Bape, Supreme, oh, I gotta have the logos, I gotta have all this, I gotta have the logos, I gotta be bright,
Red October.
Bro, right now, like, how I view my style currently, it's like, I want to be able to wear pieces that, are just clean, but are not like loud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't think you have to wear the logo just to make a statement when you go out. You can wear a plain cashmere sweater with some nice loafers, nice trousers, maybe add a necklace piece, and you look like $1 million, and no one will even know what brand you're wearing. So it's more so like a if you know to show up.
Now this doesn't pertain to you. I know it does not. I'm not going to categorize you with this.
Okay.
Do you believe that, and I'm just talking about him because you said his name and I just thought about it. Do you believe Kanye controls fashion?
Now, no, not definitely not.
At a point though?
Yes, certainly. Because a lot of interviews that we've had, a lot of randos would say, their early influences was Kanye. Just growing up, we would see it like we would come home from school, turn on 106 & Park, Kanye comes out, the whole just like fit, and you're just like, damn, how can I get that? How can I look like that? Where so like now, granted he's kind of like in the shadows a bit, and like he has his sort of like up and downs when it comes to really getting a grasp of like the fashion community, but I definitely think for sure there was definitely a time for even myself. Like I was like, I need a hoodie with no drawstring. I need those Yeezys.
Do you believe there's a difference between Kanye now and Kanye then?
For sure. I definitely think so. I think when it comes to Kanye is definitely a genius in his own right. Just in general, I personally believe. Growing up, just listening to his music, the first album that really stood out to me was Graduation. I can draw it back because during that time, I remember I was like in 5th grade. And I remember during that time, we had people wearing shutter shades. And seeing that music video for like Good Morning, like it was so like inspirational to me.
I remember your favorite song of that album was I Wonder, right?
Yes, I Wonder, yeah. Because a lot of those songs I still listen to today, and I really like. When you hear certain music, you dial it back to a certain experience in life. And so every time I listen to that album, I think about the little Kenny in 5th grade. Key pieces, bro. Key pieces. And like even watching the recent Netflix documentary he had, and just seeing what the growth he had to go through and the trial and error he had to go through to get where he is today. It's like the same thing what we talked about earlier in the interview. It's like the trial and error.
Now, I peeped that you have been basically favored by Throwing Fits on IG. I kind of see you up there every month. You gotta explain how that relationship started, man.
So, honestly, with Throwing Fits, it stems from just me listening to them and I first listening to the podcast. And like just seeing how they were in terms of just like them being really just goofballs and being good friends, but really knowing like what they're talking about, bringing guests on and having that conversation, that knowledgeable conversation when it comes to fashion, when it comes to just conversation in general. But yeah, it really stems from that. We had the pleasure of having Lawrence on the podcast, which that was really crazy to me because it goes back like full circle moments. I like to say that. And I think that for the past year, I've been experiencing a lot of that. Being able to speak with people who I never thought I'd be like, wait, huh? Yeah. You replied to my email? Like, this is crazy. But so, in having him on, that was super dope. They're really great podcast themselves. And I definitely do believe that we'll definitely get to their level at some point. I can definitely see that in the next I'm not sure if I don't want to put a table on it.
Coming very soon.
We'll definitely go see. Shout out to those guys. Like they're super dope. They have amazing guests on all different like walks of life. It's like different spectrum of creativity. So we try to do the same process in terms of bringing out and bringing on, necessarily, a lot of different creative stuff. Because I think that just how we highlighted earlier in the interview, we have multiple interests, right? So that has to show with the guests. You know what I mean? Love food. We had a chef on. I love sports. I had a professional soccer player. You would have told me 4 years ago when I had a professional soccer player from the MLS, I would have been like, no, you're lying. Like, come on now. Like, you know what I mean? So, it's definitely just being able to know them and just even be considered to be even in that realm of like fashion podcasting.
I want to tap in on a topic that I like to ask my guests, because a lot of people have ideas that they want to pursue. They have dreams and ideas that they want to pursue, but they do not know where to start. So I want to ask you, when it comes to creating an idea, creating a brand, a business, whatever it is that you're thinking at the moment, what is that process like for you? Where does that idea start? How is it formed? And how can you bring it to a platform for what you have today?
So I think, right, when it comes to anything you want to create, you have to start an entry point. You have to start okay, what is it? What is the story of concept? What is it that I'm trying to present to the viewer? You know, and I think that a lot of times with just my personal projects, where I work with tremendous photographers, videographers, I've been able to create a feeling when it comes to my work. And whenever I do shoots, that's what I want to give off. I want to be able to give off a feeling where you look at my images and you just think like, yo, where is this at? We're in Virginia. But to the viewer, they think, wow, I'm so...
right now.
But it's all about perspective. It's all about how you present it. For all we know, we could be in fucking Hawaii right now. But the way this is shot right now and the way it's presented, it's so... That's a very key thing. So I think a lot of times when it comes to an idea, and I know I kind of went off the rails a little bit.
No, you did not. Not at all.
When it comes to an idea, you got to think about, okay, what's the story we're trying to tell? How do we want it to be presented? And then also, what is the execution? And how can we best execute that particular idea?
So what is it?
So for me, it's like, when it comes to just all the projects I've been able to work on, whether it be personally or for brands, like, always, do my research. I take time to myself, like, especially if I'm prepping for a shoot or prepping for a project, I definitely take a lot of time to myself to listen to music, draw up ideas, watch interviews, watch documentaries. Because I found myself a lot of times where I've had projects, especially when there's video incorporated, I'd watch a movie and would hear the music in a particular scene and be like, wait a minute, hold on. Like, that would fit so perfect for what we need to do. Or I would see a particular way something was shot in a movie or just in general, and I would just be like, oh, that's something you have to comprehend. So I think it just all dials back to experiences and the ability to dive into the many interests we have. I'm sure for yourself, when it comes to your brand, you've been able to watch different movies, music videos, and be like, oh, okay, I have the inspiration behind this particular t-shirt. So it's the same thing when it comes to my work. Like, I just tend to a lot of things that I tap into and relate it back to the work I do.
Yeah, my last pop-up that I had back in 2021, that was based off The Last Dance from Michael Jordan and down to the music, the clothing, the style that we shot the video was based off The Last Dance. I watched that docuseries probably like 5 times in a row, like in a month.
Whenever I need to watch, whenever like I feel that, and granted, I've been on a great consistency when it comes to, and this is a great point that I want to add into. When it comes to whatever you're doing creatively, like, you have to be consistent not only with that, but then everything that surrounds your life. Because you can be consistent with what you're doing, but if you're not consistent when it comes to your health or your mental health, or consistent with your just overall day-to-day routine, everything necessarily will fall into place in terms of how everything is playing out. And so that's something that I definitely have learned over time, that it's not just the work that you need to stay consistent with, it's your overall health, mental, physical, and also like your like relationship with your friends and family. So that's very important, because you can be doing all these great things, but if you don't have that great relationship with your friends family, it's like, who can you really celebrate those moments with? You know, so
Family is everything, bro.
no, everything. And it's so crazy because, you know, my parents, you know, they definitely have raised me right. I definitely think if you ask them back, like, if a time traveler was able to go back in time when I was super young and be like, hey, your son is going to be doing this, this, and this, they'd be like, oh, okay, it's probably possible. Yeah, we can see it, yeah. But, you know, I think that, you know, my parents are very supportive. I'm super thankful for all the lessons that they're able to bestow on me. Because a lot of the advice I've learned from my parents has really geared me to shape me to where I am now.
Parents can be tough sometimes, man. I'm grateful for that to have the parents that I have. I know some people aren't as blessed, as blessed to have parents like how we have sometimes. There's a lot of parents, they will push you in the direction they feel like is best for you and not what you want to do. Like my parents, at one point, they swore up and down that I was going to be a physical therapist. I hated every second of it. And I told them, no, I don't like this. I really want to do fashion. And they supported me. I've been doing fashion since 2012. I'm on top of being a creator. Fashion not only for you, so, you know, like, I love to create, man. They know I love to create, so just having that support system with them.
And that's the thing too, like, when it comes to creatives, and granted, like you just said, like, some people aren't, you know, blessed enough to have parents who support them in their endeavors, right? But that could just still goes into a thing where you guys still gotta keep going. And I know it's a very cliche thing to say because, you know, you do go through the trials and tribulations of the regular day-to-day life. Whether you work your 9 to 5, you still create, whether you just go through general troubles, you still have to find that passion. You still got to have that passion and let that passion drive you. You know? So that's what, for me at least, has been the thing that really has driven me. Because there have been a lot of times I could have just said, I quit. Like, I'm done. You know? I could have just said, you know what? Just work a regular job, call it a day. And just grow up with 2 kids, have a white picket fence, you know, call it a day. You know? But, I see more than that by myself. And I think that, you know, it's funny enough, my mom actually told me this too. She was like, Kenny, like, it seems like everything you've been tapped into thus far, you have not failed in, or showed a lack of strength or a lack of commitment. So, you know, I think about that and I was thinking to myself, like, no, you're right. Because when my time does come, I want to be able to people look back at my life and be like, hey, like, he did this, right? And that's how I want to be able to go out. You know, I want to be able to get into many more spectral phases. I want to be able to explore new places. I want to be able to work with many more creative people. Just because I think that, you know, we have, just in Virginia alone, but just in general in the world, like, there's so many creative people out there. So just seeing that within the podcast, like, that's why I love just having those experiences, be able to share these experiences.
You feel like Virginia is helpful enough to you?
Oh, certainly. I think that with Virginia, growing up in Virginia, right? Just seeing the people who just came out of Virginia, whether it be Pharrell, Timberland, Missy Elliott, Michael Kirk, I can go on and on. Like, the list is super long. And even now, like, I feel like the creative community is so strong. It's because we have so many creative people out here. And I love the fact that with Virginia, you have people who want to see you win. You know, and sometimes it's not like that, you know, because we all know, like, you know, come across people at first that don't want to support. That's fine. But for the majority of people in Virginia, like, everyone wants to see you. Whenever you go to creative events, you see a lot of creative people, and they're like, oh, you're working on this? Great, go. You know? So what's the one thing I love about Virginia? It's more so community more than anything. So, yeah.
I'll laugh at this one. You always put me on to a new food spot. Every time we link up, it's a new food spot. So I gotta ask, what is KDKO's top 5 right now?
Top 5?
Top 5. NBA.
Alright, top 5. Luce.
Is that number 5 or number 1?
Do I have to give a ranking? Alright. You know what? I'm gonna play this game. Luce, I would have to say. Luce, I just have to say number 2.
Okay.
Number 2.
Okay.
Number 1 would have to be Codex.
Okay.
Shout out to Ian Hawk.
Okay.
Right on the Chef Codex.
Okay.
Blanca. Okay. Number 3. Love Song, number 4.
Okay.
And damn, this is tough. The number 5 spot. Okay, it's not really a restaurant, but it's more so like a spot where you can sit down and just like your food and go. Bakehouse at Chelsea.
Okay.
Again, they have the best pizza, best
Really?
bakery, best.
Really?
Anything you think of bakery, whether it's like game machines, cookies,
Out of all those, I won't number 1.
So what?
Out of all those, I won't number 1.
Only been to one?
Yes.
Oh,
Luce, that's the only one I've been to. I did not even know about the other place.
say less.
Yeah. How you shut down second down though? Luce?
Yes, that's also good as well.
You think that one was better than OG? Really?
No, I think that,
I took my girlfriend there. We had an amazing time, bro.
Don't get it twisted.
Like the ambiance was
Ambiance, 10. Service, 10.
Yeah.
Food was great, of course. But I think that with the Norfolk location, it's like, I don't know, man. It's just like, I got that feel when I first went in. It felt like, because granted alone, downtown Norfolk gives you that feel, well, at least for me, when I first visited downtown Norfolk, it gave me that New York feel.
Yeah.
And so, like, going to Luce for my very first time, it felt like I was going to a restaurant in Brooklyn. Or I was going to, like, you just go onto the street, go into the restaurant, and sit outside, watch people, cars go by, whatever. But then also how small it is. Because I can always appreciate a food spot or just a restaurant that's very, like, small, very intimate. Especially the chef, too. Being able to meet the chef, the few times I went, talked about how he would source his product, produce, and everything. It was just gives off one of those things. So I would just say the Norfolk one is better, just mine.
So like I was saying earlier, if I did say earlier, you can't remember, but I tune in with your playlist. A lot of people tune in with your playlist. And I know that for a long time, it was a strong passion of you to become a DJ back then. Do you see that becoming reality anytime soon?
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
For me, at least, it just has to be the right time
I got
to
you.
get into it. But I enjoy the playlist I make now just because how I organize the playlist, I organize it as if I'm performing an actual set. So, depending on what music I'm listening to that particular month, I usually organize it by like, alright, let me start off with some jazz, transition to some alternative, then get into some more hip hop. But it's like a natural process for me when it comes to the playlist. But it's like, it's naturally music I listen to or come across within that month. And that's how I think that anything you do creatively should just be a natural process. A natural feel. You gotta force it, you gotta rush it, like, it's not gonna go as what you expected. Because I found that a lot of times, early on when I started like being good and just in general, like, I found a lot of times me being like, oh damn, I gotta put this out, or I gotta do this shoot, like I gotta put something out every week. But it's like, no, bro, like, all you have to do when it comes to creativity is stay authentic, stay natural, and really work on and put out the best work you can possibly. Because at the end of the day, especially now with the age of social media, like, our social media platforms are a portfolio. Now, granted, you can have a more professionalized portfolio, having a website, everything, right? That's great. But now in the day and age, like, you can have someone reach you out by DM and be like, hey, I saw your recent post, I would love to work with you, right? So, to that, it's really just about putting out the best work possible and taking the time to do that work. Now, granted, if you can find a consistency to put out great, outstanding work, like on a weekly basis, bi-weekly, whatever, great, do it. But for me, at least, I don't feel comfortable unless I go through it naturally and go through it comfortably. And I think that I've had to just learn that. It's like I was saying back in earlier conversations, trial and error. That just takes time. You're not going to be shooting 90% from the field like starting out. It's like you got to find those moments where, as you grow older, you're going to run into those mistakes, and then you're going to learn from them. And so now I've like found the formulas where it's like, okay, I have one thing that I drop that I post on a consistent basis, which is the podcast. Now when it comes to all my personal projects and everything I do for brands, I can take my time with that. Because it's like I have something else I can consistently post, so that way it takes back the time that I have for other things. So,
do you have any regrets or things you wish you've done differently in your career as a chef?
I mean, I could say cliche and be like, no regrets. But no. I think that honestly, and wholeheartedly, I definitely don't have any regrets. I think that everything that has transpired in my life, whether it was positive, negative, has brought me to the person I am today. And I wouldn't be the person I am today without those struggles and without those mistakes I've made. So yeah, I think that you have to go through a little bit of trouble and a little bit of the bad to get the good. So yeah, that's why I think.
So, before we close, are there any upcoming projects for you yourself, not your brand, but for yourself? Anything? What's next for you?
Man, a lot. I think that I have a lot in terms of personal projects with brands or just personal projects I haven't put out yet. That I'm kind of just holding the ball, just waiting for the right time. Really just been working on continuously growing the podcast, but really just honing in on that storytelling aspect of everything. And so we're really working on ways to better the podcast in terms of visually, also audio-wise. Yeah, just in general, just continuously just working, but very behind the scenes and really just waiting for the right moment in time to research things. But yeah, definitely has some work to do. That's awesome.
Once again, man, I cannot thank you enough for coming out here on this beautiful Virginia day. You're my brother. I love you to the moon and back, man. You are my boy. We have been through so much together, man. To see the growth that you have displayed over the past, 6 years that I've known you is amazing, man. And I cannot wait to see you prosper. I cannot wait to see you develop into the superstar you're going to be. I know you're going to be so amazing, bro. And I just want to say thank you for being who you are and for giving me this opportunity today, man. I cannot thank you enough, man.
So, thank you. Yo, man, it's so crazy. I think about that first time we ever sat across from each other, and I just think about the growth, whether it be ups and downs, we've gone through in our friendship, but just seeing us stay true to who we are and continue the friendship, and this is where you are. Yo, I'm truly proud of you. I want to thank you for having me on this, because I really love having conversations like this. And so, yo, I really, truly want to thank you. And from the bottom of my heart, I want you to continue creating, continue buying. Because at the end of the day, as creatives out there, you have to continue creating. If you have that passion for it, and you have any passion to do anything creatively, because that's what is going to make you whole and the person you are. So, yo, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Y'all heard it here first. Again, the life story of my man, Kenneth Kirk. Thank you for tuning in with us. Next week, I got a real special guest, Mr. Austin Morris himself will be tuning in with us, and we will be going over the process of his creative mind, which I cannot wait to explore. I want to thank Earl, my cameraman, again, my viewers for coming in and checking us out. Until next time, this is Dan Norris. Thank you.
Yo, this is Kenneth Kirk, and you can follow me at KDK_Ultra on both Instagram as well as Twitter. And you can also follow Vanity Ultra as Vanity Ultra on Instagram as well as Twitter.